Welcome in, everybody. Leopard Lair, our unusual Thursday night instead of our regular Wednesday night. It's been a while. We've been off the air. We've had some things going on, kind of regrouping a little bit, but we are back here in action, ready to go. We got a good event for you here tonight. We're going to start off tonight's show with the head coach of the basketball team as well as one of our senior standouts, and we'll get things going with them. First, we want to, as always, thank our sponsors, Thomas & Associate Dental, Kylah, and we've also added the Soul Truth as a sponsors here for the Leopard Lair. So we want to thank them for allowing us to be here and helping our athletes out as we go through. So we're going to open the program tonight. Coach Tom Siegfried joining us with Will Aljancic. Basketball team 4-2 on the season here so far. Coach, maybe some people look at the first couple games and the expectations were probably pretty high coming into the season with everything we had coming off that regional runner-up, and maybe people are like, I got off to a little slow start there, but I think Perry was much improved. You'd probably like to have that game back, I'm guessing. And then, of course, you go into McKinley, and McKinley's always going to be a tough place to play.
Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about two Federal League teams on the road, so just being in the concept of that maybe we should have won those games on the road as Louisville basketball, I think speaks of where our program's at right now. And of course, early in the year, we really worry about coming out and kind of ironing out some of the wrinkles of the preseason, and I think we did that in those first two games. The second half of the McKinley game, we showed a lot of fight, came back, cut it to about 3 or 4 at the field house against a very loaded McKinley team, and then that's propelled us into 4 straight wins. So we're proud of where we're at right now, and where we're at in this program. We talk about January and February and want to play our best basketball then, and we're definitely on our way to that.
Yeah, got a chance to call the last couple of games. I thought Fitch was pretty talented. A couple young guys out there for Fitch. They're going to be good here the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. They remind me a lot of us last year. They had a couple freshmen, a couple sophomores with some size and some skill. I'm sure Coach Beanie's really looking forward to that. I know next year at Fitch is going to be a tough one for us, especially without this guy to my right. I'm sure I wish he was with us next year at Fitch as well. But they're a Division I program. A lot bigger than us, but we've had our way with them over the last few years, which is a testament to our kids and our program.
Yeah. And so the guy to the right, Will Aljancic. Will, welcome in. Welcome back. You've been here a couple times, I believe, right?
Thank you.
Coming in. Usually your dad's sitting here beside me, grilling you with questions. But, Will, congratulations. Will got to 1,000 career points, which, if you're not familiar with the game of basketball, it's hard to do at any level. You only get 4 years to play, and a lot of times you don't even get all 4 of those years. So it takes a lot to get to that. We've actually only had, 5 guys, I believe, get there. So kind of special for you, one of them being your dad. You passed him up there, right? Was he at 100 or 1,004, I think, something like that? So you blew right by him last game with 30 points. So what was it like going into the game? You knew you just needed 6. You knew you were going to get there, and then just kind of went crazy in the third quarter.
Yeah, I would say it was a milestone that I've always wanted to achieve as a kid, but I would say it was even more special with how bad we beat them and how big of a game that was. So it was pretty sweet to do it against Fitch.
And having Dad, I know Dad was home. He's gone now, obviously, but he was home for the game, so that's nice having him in the stands and one-upping him a little bit. So who's next on the list then? So you tied Bobby Gladieux, right?
Yeah, he's tied for 3rd right now. Okay. So Drew Noble would be up next.
Drew's next?
Drew's next.
So a couple of big names, good names there. Well, what's it been like as you went through the preseason? You had a little bit of injury, right? You worked through some things there early, and then you get going. You got some good teammates out there. How are you guys starting to kind of get things going here?
Obviously, we had a rough start with the first 2 games. I don't think we were playing the best basketball we could play as a team. We were playing as individuals. But I would say the last 4 games, we've really gotten it together, and I think we have a good shot at Menor to go 5 in a row here Saturday.
Good. So, Coach, tell us a little bit about Menor coming up on Saturday. Where's that at, and what are they bringing to the table?
Menor brings a lot of sleepless nights for me. They are at the Hardwood Classic. We're the featured game over there at 6:15. Right now they're sitting at 4-1. They're 6'5", 6'6" across the board. They played a very, very fast pace, up and down, shoot the 3 ball really well. And Coach has had 2 state championships at Menor, and I think he has 600 wins. So it's a great test for us. And we knew coming this year, as you spoke of before, that we wanted to test our young men. So early in the year we had McKinley. Obviously, we have Menor. We're going to go to Florida this year, and then we finish the year with a bunch of Federal League teams. So get us ready for our Division I tournament.
Yeah. And Will, just recently committed. Picked probably the second best GMAC school, but that's okay. We're gonna let that slide on you over there. You know, we're Walsh people over here. But, so headed to Findlay.
Yep.
And what was that decision like? You just kind of glad to get it out of the way? It's been a process.
Yeah, it was probably one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make in my life. Very, very stressful, especially trying to juggle that with basketball and school. But I think I picked the right place, and I feel good about it. What
attracted you over there? They got a good coaching staff. You just kind of get to meet those guys. I know when you go through that process, you get to meet all the players, and you kind of go through there. Just kind of felt at home there.
Yeah, I really liked the team and the coaches, and I liked how successful they are. So yeah, they won me over, the coaches, I would say.
Have you given any thought to what you're going to study?
I think I'm going to go into sport management.
Okay, good. So play basketball for a few years over there, and hopefully get going right away. And we'll keep an eye on you. We'll keep an eye on you here through the rest of the season. Coach, one of the big things I know you really have been successful with over the last several years is, and I've kind of been firsthand witness to it, is your youth program. Talk about how important that is here and what you've been able to change. Because obviously, you know, Louisville for many years was all power football, and you've kind of come in and stemmed that a little bit to now basketball's kind of up there with them.
Yeah. You know, one of the things when I came in, I was an assistant and JV coach here, and I just always saw the basketball program kind of go up and down based on the players that were here. And one of our former athletic directors, you know, really says something to me one time when I first got the job, is that, you know, on good teams, when you have a lot of good players, as we do this year, you know, you're going to win a lot of games. But even on your bad so-called years, you know, if you can still have those winning records and still keep the momentum going in your program, it means a lot as you go down the road. And one thing I did right from the get-go is build a youth program with little dribblers, 3rd through 6th. We went from 2 travel teams to 9. We have about 180 kids in our youth program right now. We started with about 60 to 70 when I started. Our 7th and 8th grade teams right now are both 4-0. They have a lot of success. We started a 3rd team at our middle school to give more kids the opportunity to play. And it just really comes down to putting the time in. You got to go out and watch them. You got to get that connection. You know, I could name all of my players on my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade teams, you know, and they know when I see them out in public, you know, come up and say hi. And, you know, when kids want to play for you and they feel like they have a relationship with you, you can do a lot of things. And this guy to my right, you know, I can remember watching him when he came back home with his family and, you know, youth into middle school, and you just kind of have those relationships as you get older and you come on tough times. You can say, hey, think back in 7th grade, think back in 8th grade, and it goes a long way. You're absolutely right.
I know through December and January, I don't think anybody put as many miles on as you. Be at a Saturday morning in Minerva and see you standing in the corner with a cup of coffee, and we had 8 a.m. game following a Friday night game. So
I'd like to give a sponsorship to McDonald's Black Coffee. There's nothing like it out there. So McDonald's, help out the Leopard Lair and sponsor them up a little bit here. But, you know, last weekend, to give you an understanding, I think I watched 13 games last weekend between youth. I helped out with the girls program, and then, of course, our own game. So I enjoy it, and, you know, it doesn't happen unless you have a great supporting cast as well, and I'm very fortunate with have that as well.
Good. Well, last question. How excited are you to head to Florida?
I'm very excited.
Guys in the locker room ready to go?
Yeah, I think our whole team is looking forward to it. Not just the games, but just being there in Florida in the winter. It's going to be pretty sweet. So.
And, Coach, I know that's one of the things, too, that some programs get to do, some don't. My son was able to do it through a couple different things, but that's a good, not only experience in playing better teams or teams from different areas, but just a bonding experience as a team. Can you tell how'd that come about and how important you think it'll be for you?
So every year, especially since we got out of the league, you know, wanted to create something special for each group. This year, we have a great group of parents and kids, and they all get along so well. I wanted to create some type of memory for them 20, 30 years when they're our age, to look back and say, hey, remember we went to Florida, remember we did this, we did that, we're going to go to the beach, we're going to Cocoa Beach, we're going to Universal, we're going to go downtown Orlando, we're playing, of course, 3 games, and I just think it's a great memory, and we talk about the program, you know, I use that term a lot, and I try to explain to people what that is. It really has nothing to do with wins and losses. It's about building better young men, great memories, and then making your community proud. And one of the things I'll never forget is driving home from our district championship, and I'm sure you remember winning a district championship when you played, and just the excitement from the community, and I think it just puts the community in a better place when you have teams that do that.
Sure, absolutely. Well, guys, thanks for stopping down tonight. We appreciate you guys being here, taking time out of your evenings. Good luck Saturday, and then one more before Florida, right?
Tuesday at home against Howland.
Tuesday at home.
Yep.
and then off to Florida. So
Off to Florida.
well, we're gonna keep our eye out. We'll be watching. Congratulations on the success so far, Will. Congratulations on your 1,000 points, and keep on doing your thing over there, and we'll keep watching. So, Coach Tom Siegfried, Will Aljancic, join us here in the Leopard Lair. We'll be right back with more Leopard athletes right after this.
Life is tough. At Notre Dame, Ohio State, and in my life thereafter, I've had to walk through situations that were as challenging as it gets. A large part of my ability to overcome the challenges were the determination and toughness I learned as a Leopard athlete. Your challenge today is tough. They want to push you around and take what's yours. Fight hard and rise to the challenge to show yourself that in years to come, that as your life gets hard, you'll have the intestinal fortitude to overcome. For many years, you have trained and practiced for this moment. And show what you got.
You like spending time with your family, but have you planned for when that is not possible? Kylah & Kylah provide affordable estate planning protecting you and your family. Our experience is your solution. Kylah & Kylah.
Beatty Sports has all of your athletic needs, specializing in corporate, school, and team apparel. In-house custom embroidery and silk screening makes the Beatty Sports tradition of quality and service unbeatable. Go Leopards!
All right, welcome back in to the Leopard Lair here, Thursday night edition. We are joined by Amelia Henderhan and Coach Mitchell from the girls soccer program. I want to thank them for stopping down. As always, got to thank Thomas and Associate Dental, Kylah & Kylah, and the Soul Truth for their sponsorship and help here with the Leopard Lair. Appreciate everything they do for us. So, going to dive right in here. Coach Mitchell, thanks for stopping and spending some time with us here this evening. I know this is your off season. You guys finished up, in October, November, maybe? October. Late October. So it's been a little bit now. You've had some time to reflect on the season. Kind of walk us through the season for you guys. Obviously, we don't talk about every single game, but some key moments through the season for you as a team, and maybe some of the things the girls were able to accomplish.
Yeah. So first year, I thought overall the season was really well. We had some pretty good wins. Ended up beating Hoover this year at home. Kind of dominated that game. Played some really tough state-ranked Federal League teams early on in the season. Didn't win, but I thought our performances were there. A lot of the players that we had out there on the field this year were semi-young, so I thought that was good. We were able to make our way into the state tournament with a bye into the sectional final game, which is a game that we usually we've gotten into and had to run into Jackson.
Okay.
So we were able to avoid that this year.
Oh, good.
And give ourselves a good chance at maybe getting a sectional title for the first time in a long time. Came up short against NDCL, but overall I thought the first year was excellent.
So as you mentioned, this is your first year here at Louisville. Where were you prior to, and what kind of got you here?
So I started high school coaching at Marlington.
Okay.
I did the boys for 9 years. We were able to rack up some district championships there, some regional final appearances there. Left there and went to Mount Union. Helped out with the men's program and the women's program for 5 years. Being at Marlington and playing Louisville in the NBC at the time, I'd always noticed and thought that if I ever did make the jump back into high school, that Louisville girls would be a good program for me. So,
well, we're glad to have you, and wish you continued success. We'll talk a little more here in a second. We'll jump over and talk to Amelia. Another good season for you. You have 4 letters, so got to play for 4 years here at Louisville. Picked up some first-team All-County, All-District honors, team MVP. A lot of different awards came your way this year. Of course, I'm sure that, as a goalie, you sit back there kind of by yourself, but also have the help of your teammates. What were the 4 years like for you, just as a program, going through coaching changes, and kind of how did you handle all of that?
Well, definitely to start off with, starting on varsity as a freshman was huge. I was really not expecting that walking in, and that was one of the best years of my life. I had great girls that supported me on the team, and like you said, as a goalkeeper, we just kind of sit back, but our communication is how we lead on the field if it's not always saving goals. And so that was just another way that I could help out the team, and then being able to progress throughout the years and to, have 4 great years where we played and we beat tough teams like we did this year. We had a goal of beating 4 different teams, one of the tough teams that we played all through my 4 years, and we beat 2 out of the 4. So that was a great goal. And so it was just, it's crazy to look back and see how it went by like that. I had, there were 4. There were a bunch of seniors that we had my freshman year that made a great impact on my life. And this year, ending off my senior season, I really wanted to be that kind of older sister on our little family. And I think that was just one of the things that our connection, our chemistry kind of brought everything together in my last 4. Kind of go out with a bang.
Yeah, and that's one of the things here I think that is always is special. I noticed it with my kids coming through who got to both of them play as freshmen, and kind of as they transitioned into the junior senior year, took on that role with some of the other underclassmen that come up. So it's good to hear you say that you're kind of passing that along, because it's kind of what keeps our program going. So what do you think over the 4 years, what stands out the most for you in terms of, and I don't want to say necessarily one game, but was there a series of games or anything where you felt like you really just kind of stand out for you?
Definitely. So my sophomore year, we played Lake, and it was Louisville hadn't beat them in 16 years since 2004, which happened to be my birth year. And on my birthday, we played them, and we beat them 2-0. And I think it was the last 4 minutes of the game, we had a penalty kick that I happened to save. And it was just, being on cloud 9. And it wasn't, obviously we had great offense, great midfield, great defense that, had those 2 scores. But then for me, it was my birthday, and to save that and just to hold the game. And I just thought that it brought the whole team together, Perfect. To know that there were people in front of me that I could rely on, and then I could also be there to back up my team.
Awesome. Good. Well, Coach, next year, obviously you're going to have some big shoes to fill back there. We won't talk about who that's going to be, but tell us a little bit about some of the girls maybe that you have coming back that you're looking for big things here as they move through their off season. And I won't say off season. I'm sure they're all play in the summer. So talk a little bit about who you've got coming back, or maybe even some of the girls that are going to be leaving this year. Obviously, we've got Amelia here, but maybe some other players who kind of helped you along the way.
So yeah, we have 3 seniors that'll be leaving us, unfortunately. Do have a decent-sized junior class and sophomore class, so that core there is coming back, which is really huge, with some of the freshmen and the incoming freshmen that we'll have back next year too. We're really excited about Peyton Allen, sophomore midfielder for us this year, who really stepped up. So she's got 2 more good years for us, hopefully. Hopefully get Ava Kimball back from injury. Yeah. Lost her early in the year, which was...
You had several injuries, didn't you, go through?
We had a few, a couple in the off season, and then we had a couple last year that we were still trying to get back. I know Natalie Lab, she did actually get back towards the end of the year this year and play a few games. So we're excited to see her come back, hopefully, and make an impact this year too. So
good. I how is your, you were obviously over there as Coach Siegfried kind of talked through his youth program. Obviously your first year, and I know we have a pretty strong youth program here. I know they're building a lot of new soccer fields and such here in Louisville. How much of a part of that are you, or do you want to be moving forward? Obviously, just kind of getting started here.
Yeah, so I've reached out in the summertime to the president over there at the Louisville Soccer Club. Let him know that myself and the coaching staff we're all in with that, and we want to help them as much as we can, because you're only going to be as good as the youth players that you're bringing in. So yeah, we've started our youth summer camp this year. Like 60 girls come out. So yeah, we're trying to get in there with them and help them out, not only with the players, but with the coaches as well. So.
And now, for people that are unfamiliar, as I am somewhat unfamiliar, what do the soccer players do? Like I know my kids are baseball and volleyball and basketball. They play AAU and such in the summertime. What do the high school soccer players do throughout the summer? So
most of them will leave us, and they'll go back to their club teams. Okay. There's a handful in the Canton area. Some of them actually go up to the Cleveland area and play, and then they'll get with girls from other schools around and travel and play that way.
So similar to other sports in terms of their summers are pretty filled up and traveling around. Amelia, you did a lot of that then as you went around. Yeah. Who'd you play for, and where'd you guys get to go?
Well, this past year I played for Cleveland Force, but currently I'm playing for the International Soccer Club, so that's out of Medina.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Any fun trips you guys get to go on? Or?
Oh, yeah. We this past weekend we just went to Tennessee and got to stay in Nashville, so that was really cool.
It's my second favorite city. Yeah. I get to go there a couple of times for baseball, so. Well, good. Amelia, so you're all done here, and as you mentioned, it goes really fast. What's up next for you? Have you made any decisions on what you're going to do?
Well, I haven't committed yet, but I am going to find a college where I can play soccer and hopefully major in exercise science to get me on the road to be an orthopedic PA. Because when I broke my hand, I just thought that all the people who work in, helping people with sports-related injuries and stuff like that, I thought their job was pretty interesting. Yeah. And so that's kind of what's going on in the future. But I also want to minor in coaching so that I could possibly be a goalkeeping coach, because I love that. Good. I don't know what I would do without that.
Keep giving back. Right. Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for coming out. I know this is a little bit after your season, but we definitely wanted to get, after all the success you had, wanted to get you back in here and get a chance to talk to you and congratulate you and wish you best as you move on. Coach, I'm sure we'll be seeing you again here as we move through the next couple of years in the Leopard Lair, and good luck to you. Good luck in the off season. Get those girls ready to go, and we'll see you next year.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
We'll be back here just a few minutes with more Leopard athletes in the Leopard Lair.
Life is tough. At Notre Dame, Ohio State, and in my life thereafter, I've had to walk through situations that were as challenging as it gets. A large part of my ability to overcome the challenges were the determination and toughness I learned as a Leopard athlete. Your challenge today is tough. They want to push you around and take what's yours. Fight hard and rise to the challenge to show yourself that in the years to come, that as your life gets hard, you'll have the intestinal fortitude to overcome. For many years, you have trained and practiced for this moment. And show what you got.
You like spending time with your family, but have you planned for when that is not possible? Kylah & Kylah provide affordable estate planning protecting you and your family. Our experience is your solution. Kylah & Kylah.
Beatty Sports has all of your athletic needs, specializing in corporate, school, and team apparel. In-house custom embroidery and silk screening makes the Beatty Sports tradition of quality and service unbeatable. Go Leopards!
Welcome back into the Leopard Lair. Our final athlete here of the evening, Kylah Meyers. Got that Meyer, no S. See, I'm going to get it right at some point. It's all good. We're going to keep going with this. So joining us as just a freshman, along with Coach Kensal. Get that right? Yep. All right, see, we're gonna move this thing along here. Cross country. Blows my mind that people just run for fun. I talk about this all the time when I had the other girls down here before. It just is amazing to me that people can just run. I told the last girls that were here, I think I said, if you see me running, something's chasing me, and even then I'll probably just stop because I would take my chances. So, Coach, tell us a little bit about how your season went, how many girls you had running this year, and kind of maybe some key matches or meets, I guess, for you guys as you went through the year.
Yeah, it was. I'm new this year, so first year coach for the girls, and we only had 6 girls. So I know last year they graduated quite a few girls, and I know Coach Frasenko from previous years, and he was one of my coaches in high school, so I was able to get some good insight on some of the girls coming up. Cross country is a little bit different. You know, it's as much of a team sport as it is independent. So, you know, it's hard when you have 6 girls and only 5 girls can score in a cross country meet to look overall and as a team. So I think this year we focused a lot on just independent growth and how the girls did throughout the year compared to previous years. And throughout the year we had a number of girls drop to personal bests, drop significant time from the first meet to their last meet right at the district meet. And I think that was kind of the goal of the season, is come in, didn't have a whole lot of expectations, just want to make a connection with the girls and start to kind of develop them in a different way. And so I had Kylah as a freshman, 2 sophomore girls, and then 3 seniors. So we're definitely looking to rebuild, and we got some good upcoming girls coming up. Yep.
So the middle school track team, or cross country team, I should say, we'll have some girls coming for you next year in 8th grade.
Yep. Yeah, we got some good girls coming up. So like I said, I think that was the expectation at the beginning of the year, is just look to rebuild in future years.
Good. So Kylah, just a freshman, picked up All-County Award, in some finalists for Runner of the Year, Scholar Athlete, which is the most important of all the awards. And then talk to me about this Nike Midwest Invitational. Is that postseason that you ran this?
Yes, that was.
Okay, and where was that at?
That was in Indiana.
Okay. Is it just so it's an outdoor track in Indiana, just a group of high school? Is it all high school girls?
Yes, it was all high school girls. There was a middle school race, I think was the day before.
Okay. So how do you get invited to that, or what are the qualifications for that?
It was like an open race that
Okay.
we found it out last year because I did it in middle school. But it was just a fun open race that high schoolers will be able to try out and get special rewards for like top 3.
Good. And you were in the top 3?
Yes.
Awesome.
3rd place.
Good. So how long have you been running, and what kind of took you into that? As I mentioned, I have no concept of just running.
I started running like right after I could walk. Like we did like little dashes.
Okay.
My little sister, she also does running.
Okay.
I get it from parents inspired by them because they did lots of marathons whenever we were little.
Oh, okay. That was actually going to be my next question. Is this like a family thing? And
Yes, it is.
I've seen that as we've talked to other, we've had some of our boy cross-country runners in here as well as some of our girls. It seems to be a family thing that kind of gets passed down. So your mom and dad both runners?
Yes.
Good. And so they kind of tag you along there, and do they ever still run with you?
Oh, yes, all the time.
Well, that's more than I could do. So what about your little sister? What grade is she in?
She's in 5th grade.
Okay. So she's got a little bit of time before you get a chance to coach her, hopefully, at some point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good. So, Coach, talked a little bit through the youth program. We've kind of had our other coaches talk about it. I'm not familiar at all with how the cross-country season, I guess, would say. Are your cross-country runners typically playing other sports, or where do most of those girls come from?
I think the biggest thing with cross country when I saw in high school and college is a lot of runners are your multi-sport athletes. And then a lot of times they're either like Kylah knew right off the bat, like this is what I'm going to do. And I think with a youth group, and her dad actually runs a youth group, I think with that is just getting kids out to run, like just getting them to show up. Because a lot of times they are doing other sports, which is great, but just to get them out and say, hey, this is a possibility. Because when I was in school, I mean, I remember doing early warm-ups in 8th grade and running. They're like, hey, let's go warm up and go run around the tennis courts and back. And I was huffing and puffing, and I just didn't want to be a part of it. Yeah. You know, but if you get kids to come out and you make that connection with other kids, and they just are able to go to small races and kind of see how much fun it is atmosphere-wise, I think that's the biggest thing that gets them to stick and stay with it.
Good. And Kylah, I know when some other folks were down here, do you have now that you've gotten to run at a couple different places, is there one course that kind of stands out that you like better than others, or do you like, I think I asked, like flat or kind of hilly, or what's your preference?
I really liked the Glen Oak course. Like in middle school, it was really fun running there. I would always, most of the time, PR in that race. Another one is Worcester, because it's a very fast course.
Yeah, I think they were here the week before Worcester, and I think they were all talking about how they like that track as well. So good. Now, so you're just cross country. You don't do any kind of track in the spring at all?
Oh, I do indoor track.
Okay, good.
Outdoor track as well.
What else do you run then? Different events?
Yeah, I do the 1600 and the 800 for indoor and outdoor track, and I am going to be doing the 2 mile this year for outdoor track.
Okay, good. So when you go out to run and train, I know Coach kind of talked about how cross country is somewhat individual, but also kind of a team thing. How do you train with other girls in terms of do you guys kind of push each other, or is it just kind of people run off on their own when you guys are I see you running around town all the time. So how do you guys determine how fast you're going to go? Because obviously some people don't go as fast as everybody else goes. So how do you guys determine that?
We take our PRs, which are all mainly different, and we just get time space off that to do different workouts. On easy runs, we would run together, but on other workouts, we hit our times at all different places.
Is there one particular teammate that kind of pushes you a little bit, or?
Yes. One of them, her name's Marissa. Sometimes in workouts we'd go on the track. We had one where she was ahead of me. Her times are the closest to mine.
Good.
So it was fun to have someone out there just kind of with me.
Now, is she a senior? Is she leaving, or is she back?
She's a senior.
So you got to find a new buddy, or you got to bring someone along with you. Now you're going to be the upperclassman. Now you got to drag people along, as you kind of heard Amelia talking about. Now it's your turn to bring some of these youngsters along. So good, Coach. What kind of sets Kylah apart from other runners? Sometimes you just have natural speed. Sometimes you're mentally strong. What does she possess that kind of makes her stand out?
Straight discipline. I think that's, she has done everything I've asked her throughout the year. She has the motivation that she wants to get better, and she has goals, and she sets those goals, and whatever she's put her mind to this past year, she was able to accomplish. Top 5 in every race, 4th in the county, district runner-up, 37th at the state meet. Like, it just kept on rolling. She just kept on getting better and better, and I think one of the most impressive runs that she had was she had a fever the night before regionals. And, as a coach, you got to stay calm and collected.
Yeah.
But I told her later, I was like, I was panicked. But, I told her before the race, I said, you're one of the toughest runners that I've ever met. And I said, you're going to have a good day today, And when she got done, like, she was exhausted. She barely could stand up. And, I think that's the true grit, and she just gutted it out. And I think that's what she has that sets her apart from any other runner that I've ever worked with.
All right, so this would be the part normally where I would ask you about what your future plans are, but you're too young to have any future plans. So let's talk about sophomore, junior, senior year. What's the progression? How do we, so 37th this year at the state meet. How many places do we want to move up each year before we finally get to that number one spot?
I definitely want to get in like top 20 next year, top 10 the next year, and then hopefully try to like.
And then go ahead and win
top
it.
3 senior year.
Good. Well, you got to have goals, and it sounds like you do a good job of setting them and sticking to them. So, and it sounds like Coach is doing a good job of keeping you on the right track and getting you going. So, Coach, we appreciate you coming down. And Kylah, appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with us. I'm sure we're going to get to talk to you again. So, wasn't so bad, was it? Okay, good. So, well, that'll do it here for us in the Leopard Lair. I want to thank everyone for stopping out, everyone for watching, and we will be back. We'll see you next time.